the quick sort tracing along with all the algorithms and all. Yesterday's class you even saw what is known as the time complexity of it, right? So that's the most important part of what needs to be done and all. So today again we are going to see one more problem, and then probably we are going to again look into the algorithm or what is known as the rules for this tracing. Okay, so if I take that into consideration, what are the things to be kept in mind? Okay, I'm just going to repeat again that quick sort basically is called as exchange partition sort. Okay, so if I talk about it, it is known as what? Exchange partition sort. And why it is talking, we call it like that because of a very simple reason that we are going to partition the array into two parts where the mid element or the middle element will be known as a key element, or the key element will be coming to the mid part, and the left part of the array will be very much less than the mid element. The right part of the array will be very much more than the mid element or the key element. Okay, so this is what we do with regard to how we partition the entire thing. Now the most important part, okay, how will you do this? How will you do this and what needs to be done is something to be learned, right? So we have taken one example again just to learn how this is going to work through and all. Okay, so in yesterday's class probably, yeah, we learned about what is known as the time complexities of it. People who are not there or who didn't attend, make sure that you people are accessing all the videos right from the Microsoft dashboards. Okay, so this was the what is known as the time complexity of quick sort, which you sort of saw yesterday. Of course, this is with regard to the average and the best case. Worst case, it is varying that we are also going to look into probably at the end of today's class or tomorrow's class. Okay, then the entire quick sort will be done like that. Okay, each and everything you need to know. It's like a package. Okay, quick sort, what are the package it comes through? You must be able to know everything. It's as simple as that. Okay, so let's sort of look into this of what needs to be done. Okay, I've taken one example again. You can see right in the screen right here that this is what my example is. The example clearly talks that I need to do what is known as the quick sort tracing and figure out what needs to be done with regard to this. I have these numbers 5, 3, 1, 9, 8, 2, 4, 7. So how many elements are there? They're basically 7 elements. Oh, sorry, 8 elements. How do you so it's 8 elements? You can see the index part, right? You can see right from here the index part. Okay, it starts from what? 0, 1, 2, 3 like that up to 7. So we got our 8 elements. What is the thing I need to do? I'm going to write the same old elements like this. No change in that. Okay, but after that there are certain things that you need to keep in mind. What are those certain things? First and foremost, your first element. So that's what I'm trying to write right here, that your first element, right? The first element in the array. One second. Yeah. The first element in your array will be known as your what? Key element. Will be taken as the key element by default. Okay. Then the I value, you are going to use it for what is known as the exchange and iteration part and the J part. J will be pointing to the last element and I obviously will be pointing to the first element or the next first element. Why next first element? Because when key is compared with the first element, obviously it will be same. So it has to go what is known as the incrementation part. So it will be pointing to the first element. Okay, then what is the next thing? What are the rules to be kept in mind in the next iterations? Okay, first and foremost, you are going to compare the key element. Very important, because that's the same thing what you learned in algorithm also. This is the second example we are trying to do here. Okay, we are going to compare the key element with I. Okay, first thing is with regard to key element and I. If the key element is greater than I, then what you do? You are trying to do what is known as the increment I. Okay, only when key element is greater than I. When you think this will become false, this will become false. What is the disturbance? Mute yourself. Okay, now what is the next thing? The next thing is with regard to what is the thing? When do you think this will become false? When the key element is less than I. Okay. So what you do with regard to that, when that happens, you are going to compare the key element, okay, with J. And obviously when J is greater, you are going to decrement J. Key element, okay, be careful with what is the terminologies I'm using: increment, decrement. This should not be the thing where you don't know what is increment, decrement and all. Okay, so that is something that you got to keep in mind. Okay, so what is the thing to be kept in mind? The thing to be kept in mind is with regard to, okay, the key to be kept in mind is with regard to what are the elements to be done and what are the things to be done next. First and foremost, when both the things are done, incrementation, decrementation, both are done, what is the next thing you do? You are going to, please understand this, you are going, I'll write it in another thing, right? You are going to compare I and J. I and J. You're going to compare I and J. That's the most important part. That's what you do next. Then after that, what is the thing that you're going to compare? You need to have I value should be either less than or equal to J. Okay, less than or equal to J. Then what you do? You are going to exchange. Okay, you are going to exchange. Be careful here. What is the thing I'm writing? I'm comparing I and J. Then what I'm exchanging? I'm not exchanging I and J. I'm exchanging A of I with A of J. That's what I'm doing. Okay. Then when do you think this will all stop? Okay. See, when do you think this will all stop? Be careful with this condition. I should be less than or equal to J. This will all stop when I value, be careful again, whenever I value becomes greater than J. Okay. Whenever I value becomes greater than J, what is going to happen? You are going to exchange. What exchange? You are going to exchange A of low. Now be careful with what will be there in A of low. A of low is nothing but a key element. Why? You can see right here of what is the thing I wrote on the top. The first element is always represented with regard to by default as the key element. Will be taken as the key element. Okay. So what is represented by A of low? It is nothing but key element. So you are going to exchange A of low with what? A of J. So these things again you need to keep in mind. Now you can see the most important part that is happening right here. Okay, you got your two incrementation, decrementation, and you got your two exchanges. That's why you call it this as partition, exchange, sort. Okay. Some people in exam they may give it like this. Why? Just to confuse you people. Then you will be wondering, okay, I studied for quick sort. Why there is not there in exam? Okay, that should not happen. You must know that everything is pretty much same. Okay, so let's do. What is after this? What is going to happen? Once we do all of this, you get only this much. Okay, again I'm saying, reiterating a very simple fact that it will not be sorted. Key element, you are going to get it like this. Towards this side, you will all the having element which will be less than the key element. Towards this side, we will all be having elements which are more than the key element. That doesn't mean that it will all be sorted. No. Again, so what is the next thing? Again, for this, you apply what is known as the quick sort technique, which is all about, again, dividing it and sorting it, everything you do. Then it will be sorted. This will be fully sorted. Then you do the same thing for right hand side. Then this will be fully sorted. Now be careful here. This is sorted. This is sorted. Key element anyway is in between in such a way that this side less, this towards this side more. So fully it will be sorted. Then you can easily say that entire array is fully sorted. Okay, this is how things will be working. So let's take one example, one more example. We have seen one example. We are going to see one more example. Okay, and look into this and understand this. Okay, what were the rules and what needs to be done with regard to it. Okay, so let's take this example. So please understand this. I'm not going to go much deeper into it because it's all second example. I hope You must be knowing the first example, which was a bigger example compared to this one. Majority of the time, this is an example of what you get in exam. But again, this is a smaller example. What we took for 10 elements. We took for 10 elements. Remember that? Okay, this is only for what? 8 elements. And that two very small values. There used to have very big values and also lots of jumbled values. Okay, let's look, sort of look into this. Okay, you see this 5? 5. Good. That will be your key element. Then your I is pointing to the next element. Okay, then J is pointing to the last element. What is the first step I told you? You are going to compare the key value with your what? I. I am doing that. Comparing the key value with regard to I. What is key? 5. I 3. 5 less than 3. So what you need to do? Increment I. You can see the rules here. Very clearly says key element, if it is greater than I, you are going to increment I. That's what I'm doing. I'm incrementing I. Okay. Let's go for the next one. Okay. Next, again, you see now the I value is pointed by what? 2. See, in exam, you don't have to write like this stepwise. You can do it like, like how you see in the notes and all, but that is not something which I like, because there people will always get confused. Okay, if I skip 1 or 2 steps, this is more detailed version. This is for understanding. Okay, now you see this. What's the next thing? Again, the key element is 5 only. Key element will be fixed there only 5. I value is now pointing to 1. 5 greater than 1, comparing key with I. Okay, 5 greater than 1, so increment I. Okay, so I value will now be pointing to 9. Is it correct? Yes, it's pointing to 9 now. Okay, now again what I need to do, I need to sort of compare the key value with I again. I will be, key value will be compared with I. So what is going to happen? Be careful here. I am comparing the key value with I. 5 is less than 9. Okay, when I get less, what I should do? I should not increment. I should stop incrementation. Then what I do? I need to compare from J towards left side, the left to right movement. I need to stop. I need to start from right to left movement, which is I need to start comparing from J. If I do that, okay. If I do that, see that's what I'm doing now. I'm stopping incrementation. Please understand step by step procedures for it. Okay, I'm comparing the key element with J now. When I am doing that, what is going to happen? You just check. Okay, comparing the key element with J, you got your 5 and you got your J, which is nothing but 7. Okay, 5 less than 7. You got your, what is the thing? J value is more, so you are going to decrement J. Okay, see, for I value should be less than key value. J value should be greater than the key value. Why? Because at the end of it, what we get? At the end, what we get is like this, where the key element towards the right side, everything should be more. Towards the left side, everything should be less. So when I think of it, when a rule is like this, obviously I'll be going with something like, I, which is very much less than key value. Then I'll be talking about J, which will be very much greater than the key value. Okay, same thing only I'm doing right here. Now you see, I'm decrementing J. So in the next step, where do you think the J will be pointing to? 4. Okay, now you see, J is very much pointing to your 4. Again, I need to keep on comparing J. Okay, I should not again switch back to I. When I switch back to J, till it becomes false, I'll be keep on looking into it only. So K value is again compared with J. 5 greater than 4. No, again you need to stop decrementing J. Because J value should be more. Now it has become less. So I need to stop decrementing J. Now be careful here. Now should I switch back to I again? No. You have done I, you have done J. Both the things are done. Okay. Both the things are done before you switch back to I. Okay. Before you switch back to I, look into this. Okay, what is the thing I was telling you? That before you switch back to I, what we need to do is, we need to do what is known as comparison of I and J values. This step you look into it. When I say I and J values, it clearly means that this is I, this is J. It clearly means what are the values of I and J, the index values of I and J. So I need to compare that. I need to do that, right? So that's what I'm trying to do here. Okay, see, I've stopped incrementing J. Then I'm comparing the values of I and J. If I'm doing that, please understand this step. What is the value of I? I is not 9. Don't be that stupid. Okay. I is not 9. A of I is 9. Okay. I value is nothing but the index value. That will point to the index value. Now what is the value of I? Is nothing but 3. Okay. Now we are going to do that. Okay. You are going to point to what is known as your index point of view. Index value only you are going to check. So what you are going to get? I value is pointing to the index 3. Okay. J value is pointing to the index 6. Since I value is less than A of J. Okay. Is very much, you can see the value 3 is less than 6, right? We are going to exchange A of I with A of J. Now we are going to exchanging the values. What is A of I? 9. A of J? 4. That will be exchanged, and you can see in the next step, okay, what is the values that are exchanged. You see, in place of 9, we got 4. In place of 4, we got our 9. And I and J value will remain same. See that I and J value will remain same. What is the next step? Again, do the same old comparison with regard to key and I. Okay, check this. We are going to comparing. See, this is after the exchanging part of it. Okay, now again, we are going to do what is known as the comparison again. See, again, the comparing A key with I. Now you may get a doubt, you know, we is talking about I index value here. Why is not talking here? I'm talking I here because it's nothing but A of I only. Okay, I'm writing it as nothing but A of I only. To make it simpler, I'm writing it as I, but you can take it as A of I only. The values that is there only we generally take. Okay. Now, if you think of comparing of it, what is going to happen? We are trying to do what is known as. Is it visible? Yeah. Now, you just check with this. We are trying to do what? We are trying to compare the key value with I. So, what is there in this? The key value is 5. I value is 4. So 5 greater than 4, we are going to increment I. So that will be now pointing to 8. Okay. Then again, comparing the key value with I again. 5 less than 8. So you need to stop incrementing I. Yes. We need to stop incrementing I. Then we need to compare the value with J. So key value with A of J, what is going to happen? Or else I'll do one thing. Okay. To avoid this confusion, I'll write it as A of I, A of J only in the notes. Okay. So it will not be a problem. Okay, I'll just change that. Okay, anyway, it doesn't take much time. Just have to write A and all. Okay, now what's the next thing? Okay, next thing is compare key with J. You're going to compare whatever the value that is there in key value 5. Okay, that with your J value. That 5, 9 is very much greater than 9. Sorry, 9 is greater than 5. So you're going to decrement J. So, J will be next pointing to 2 now. In the next step, yes, it is pointing to 2 now. Now again you need to compare 5 and 2. 5 is only greater, key is only greater. So you need to stop again decrementing. Stop decrementing J. You need to compare the value of I and J. See, stop decrementing J. Yes. Comparing the key value with J, I have stopped decrementing J. Next, I need to compare. Okay, see this I is pointing to index 4, J is pointing to index 5. I need to compare I and J. I value is very much less than J. You can see that rules. Okay, if I is less than or equal to J, exchange A of I with A of J. Okay, that's what I'm trying to do here. Since A of I of J is less than J, exchange A of I with A of J. What is A of I? 8. What is A of J? 2. So this should be exchanged. So what is going to happen? A of I will become 2. A of J will become 8. Check this. Okay. Now you see after exchanging what I'm trying to get. I am trying to get the entire thing. Okay. 2 coming here. 8 is going right here. I and J values will remain the same. Okay. After exchanging. See, once that is done, what's the next thing I do? Now I need to again compare with I. Start comparing with I. Okay, I'm comparing key value, which is nothing but 5 value with A of I. What is there in that? 5 greater than 2, so you are going to increment your I. If I increment that in the next step, what is going to happen? Both the things. Okay, this is what it is becoming very important. Okay, be careful here. Both I and J are pointing to your 8 now. I and J are both pointing to 8 now, but our job should not stop. We are going to comparing 5 with your I value. What is 5 with I value? Stop incrementing I, because phi is very much less than our I value, which is pointed by 8. What I do? I should compare with j. That's what I'm doing. Compare the key with j. Phi is very much less than 8. So you need to decrement j. If I decrement j, j value will be now pointing to, be careful, j has surpassed I now. J from this side, j has surpassed I and it's come to 2 now. Okay, it has come to 2 now. Now be careful. This is where you know, once it surpasses, it clearly means that we are into the solution. We are almost near the solution. Now again, we need to stop, we should not stop our regular work, which is nothing but comparing the key value with our j, because here we were in j itself. Okay, so we are going to look into that, comparing the key value with j. Okay, phi is compared with 2, which is nothing but j. So I need to stop decrementing j because key value is only greater. But do I have to go back and check with I and j values? Yes, I need to check with I and j values. Okay, because I and incrementation of I, decrementation of j, both are done. So again, I have to check with regard to comparison between your I and j. Now you see, I value has exceeded j. Index of I is 5, j is only 4. When that happens, you see the rules. See this rule, last rule, fourth rule. Okay, fourth rule in this rule, the clearly says when I value exceeds j, we are going to do what? We are going to exchange, not ai and aj. We are going to, sorry, we are going to exchange what? We are going to exchange a of flow. You can see this a of flow, which is nothing but a key element with a of j. So what is that? We need to exchange a of flow, which is nothing but equal to key value. What is there in key value? 5. What is represented by a of j? 2. That needs to be exchanged. If I exchange that, see, if I exchange that, please understand this. See, where is the key value now? Okay, 5 needs to be exchanged, 2 needs to be exchanged. So 2 will be coming right in the first place. 5 will be going to the 2 place right here. Is that an end of solution? Obviously, that's the end of a solution. How do you make out? Key value has come here. Towards the left side, you check, everything is less. They may not be in order because that's not the end of quicksort. They may not be in order because again you have to apply the left part only. We need to apply the repeated partition and what is known as merging of it. Okay, the right side again repeated partition and merging of it will be done. But is it split into 2 parts? Is it split into 2 parts where the left part is smaller, right part is greater than the mid element or the key element? Yes. See this? Clearly says that all elements are less than the key element towards the left side. All the elements towards right side are very much greater than the key element. Okay, this is very important. This is something that you got to remember. Okay, the rules, everything, the algorithm, the time complexity that comes, but most important, then what you do? You will apply repeated partitioning and sorting to the left part, and it will be sorted like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. Right part again, it will be sorted with regard to as 7, 8, 9. Right. So when you combine all those things, this will become 1, 2, 3, 4. Then 5 will be there in midfield. We are not going to touch that. Then again we saw 7, 8, 9. For this, we again wrote an algorithm yesterday. Okay, remember, this is with regard to when we do that, we are going to get like this. Okay, so this is the most important part of understanding the tracing part of it. 2 things we have done. I think the first problem was with regard to this one, right? It's a very, very big problem. I took as a big problem because you need to get used to the complex one. Then the easier ones anyway will become easy. Okay, so these small things you got to keep in mind before we sort of move into the next part. Okay, so before we sort of look into the next part, I'm just going to give what is the things that we learned, what are the things that we sort of saw and all. Okay, first and foremost, you must know that tracing of quicksort. Okay, which you saw 2 examples. Tracing of quicksort, that's the first thing to know. Then there are 2 algorithms which you need to keep in mind. Number 1 is with regard to partitioning. It's a very big algorithm. Yesterday you saw that's one, and of course the last part what you saw. Okay, left and right part merging and all. We call that as the algorithm for quicksort. Quicksort merging. So those things you need to know, and of course the time complexity. Okay, this also you should know. without any worry. Okay. See, in exam, what is going to happen is they're going to ask you the time complexity. You can write any one, but generally, what is a good thing is you should go for a one which is with regard to a best case. But if the best case is smaller, like in merge sort you saw, sorry, binary search you saw. Best case is what? When you have an array like this, binary search, there is a mid element like this. The element to be searched, which is nothing but a key element, is pointing to the mid element. Then that's your best case. Because there's no need of any comparisons, anything to be done. Right? The first element itself will be pointed here. The search is successful, and you call that as omega of 1. Why you call omega of 1? Because this is the best case with regard to omega you represent. Okay. But when it comes to time complexity of quicksort, you saw yesterday. Okay, what was the time complexity of quicksort and all? But there are two ways. We generally go with both the cases. The one with regard to best and average case, which you saw yesterday, and next thing is with regard to worst case. When do you think this worst case happens? Understanding this is very important. Okay, this, if you are able to understand when do you think the worst case will happen, then it will be a very good thing. Okay, so you're going to get the time complexity for even worst case also. Then this entire quicksort is all fully done. Okay, then there are of course various other things also with regard to finding out the max and min element, which is there in your syllabus, which you're going to do, and of course Strasson's matrix. Okay, Strasson's matrix multiplication to be precise. And of course we move into the next topic. This is with regard to, that's all. Okay, this is with regard to divide and conquer. Then there's one more topic called decrease and conquer. Now understand what is decrease. So you're decreasing, you're not dividing, you're decreasing. And in decrease and conquer, there's one topic to be kept in mind: topological sorting. Okay, topological sorting. Like this, questions will come. There is no twist and turns. There is no questions where things will be coming out of the blue. No, direct questions. Everything is pretty direct here. Okay, so this we are going to see. Okay, what is the things of understanding things, and also this is how you need to write every time, every day. You need to start before we sort of understand any class, not just for a DA, any class which you take. If you need to sort of figure out the entire summary of your syllabus, what you're trying to do, what you need to study, and what is there in that, even for an answer. Okay, you see a question, you need to make a point of not the entire answer. No, what are the main points to be included in this answer? That thinking should be there. Okay, that is what the difference between people who sort of become successful, or people who are who study in a very good college. I'm saying very good colleges in terms of course, the brand, the ranking, what they got, everything, right? You hope you understand what is the meaning of that. Okay, what they do, what is their way of learning, and what is where you are lacking on all that, you should be keeping in mind. Okay, without any problem on all. Okay, so let's sort of look into this. Okay, what is the most important part? I think we are going to take another 5 minutes before we sort of switch off our sessions. Okay, so first and foremost thing is, I was talking about you with regard to the worst case scenario. First of all, you need to know what is the worst case. Okay, when do you think the worst case will happen? Then you'll be able to understand that what is the meaning of worst case and the time complexity of it. Now, what we are talking about is with regard to quicksort. We know very clearly we are talking about with regard to quicksort. What is the purpose of it? Sorting. Okay, and how does it sort? It sort by the very simple aspect of the bit element or the key element will be in between. Towards this side you will have left arrays, towards this side you have the right ones. Okay, towards this side you will have all less values, towards this side you have all more values. That is what our thinking is. That is what our analogy has always been. But if the input is like this, we understand this. Okay, if the input is somewhat like this, what is my input? My input is coming through like this. Please understand the input, then I'll tell what is that meaning of. So what is the input? I can say this input is already sorted. Is that right? Yes. Is it fully sorted? Yes, it is fully sorted. So when do you think the worst case will happen when it comes to quicksort? The worst case occurs when the current array, whatever you need to partition, right? The array that needs to be partitioned is in such a way that all the elements are fully either in ascending or descending order already. Already ascending or descending order. People may not believe what is the meaning of that. Why it can be a worst case scenario. I can easily understand, make you understand that with regard to the help of this. Can we go for tracing of this? I've taken only 4 because I don't want to take more of your time. It's already sorted. Can I take a tracing of this? Yes, I can do that. Okay. Can you do that very simplest of tracing? You know very clearly the first element is always known as the key element. It will all be compared with your I, and of course it will be compared with your J. Okay. So can I take this as my first thing? What is the thing I do? I am going to compare, okay, key value with A of I. Okay, fast, okay. A of I. If I am going to compare that, what is going to happen? 22 is what I'm going to do is very much less than your 33. Once again, I'll make the screen a little bit, yeah. 22 is very much less than your 33. When this happens, what I do generally, I do what is known as stop incrementing, there's no increment only, okay? No increment, so stop incrementing I. Incrementing I. You need to compare this with what? I need to compare now, I need to go back to comparing this with J. So compare key with A of J. If that happens, what is going to happen? 22 is very much than 55. So this is true. This is very much true. So I need to decrement J. Okay, I need to decrement J. So what is going to happen in the next step for me? Next step will be like this. Again, 22, 33. So this is my next step, right? 44 and 55. And what will be my key value will remain same here itself. I value, I didn't touch only. It will be here, and J value will be very much here. Okay. Now again, I should not go back to I again. Okay. Don't be that stupid. I am doing it with regard to this. I should keep on doing with regard to that itself. Okay. Compare key with J. Or A of J. That's a problem. I always say J because the meaning is only A of J only. Okay. Now you see this 22 less than your 44. Very much true. Very much true. If that is the case, what do? You basically decrement J again. Okay, you're going to decrement J. So in the next step, the third one, what is going to happen? The 22's 33, you got your 44 and you got your 55. So key value is this one only. I value is very much here. Be careful. J needs to be decremented. So J is also very much here. I and J both are in same place. Okay. Both are in same place. Now again, I need to keep on comparing the same thing. Okay, so compare key with J. Key with A of J. Key is 22, very much smaller than your 33. So again, I need to decrement J. Okay, I need to decrement J. So what is going to happen in the next step? Next step, now the things will become very much, a little bit shakier. Okay, 33, you got your 44 and you got your 55. So what is this? This will be key again, and this will even be J. I value is very much here. Okay, I value is very much here. So now again I need to keep on comparing. I should not leave that. Okay, I should not leave that. So I'm going to compare that. So this was my fourth step. Okay. So if I do that next thing like this, I need to again compare now. So I'm going to compare key value with A of J. Now there's a problem. What is that problem? Is 22, less than this? No, this is false. So you need to stop decrementing. Okay, stop decrementing your J value. Once I stop decrementing, see I and J both is done. I need to stop decremented j. What is the next thing? I need to compare a of I, compare. I'll write it in another color, right? So this will be another step. So I need to compare I with j. When I say I, index of I, what is the value of I? If you take like this, 0, 1, 2, 3, I value is 1. J value is very much 0. Now you see very clearly I is exceeded, sorry, I value has very much exceeded J, right? I value has very much exceeded J. So when I do this, okay, when I sort of do this, what I need to do? I need to compare, I need to exchange, not compare, I need to exchange. What I need to exchange? I need to exchange A of low, which is nothing but key value, with A of j. What is the key value for me now? The key value for me is nothing but 22. This needs to be exchanged with what? A of j, again 22. See? So what is the end of it? At the end of it, what you are going to get? You are going to get 22, 33, 44, 55. Where is my key element? Here only. You saw what was the entire thing what we learned till now. Quicksort will make it in such a way that towards the left side, again, what is the thing I told you? Key element will be right here. Towards the left side, all will be less. Towards the right side, all will be more. First, this is true only. Towards left side, there is no element only. Correct? Towards this side, there is no element only. So can I write this entire thing that there is no element? So there is zero element. Towards this side, there are all full elements. What full elements? Can I write this as n minus 1 elements? Why? Number of elements were 4. Towards the right side, how many are there? 3. This is nothing but if I take this as 1, this will be n minus 1. When do you think this will happen? This is my worst case. Okay, this is my worst case. This is where I need to keep in case of what needs to be done. Okay, of what needs to be done and all. Okay, this is the most important part. Based on this, okay, based on this, we need to figure out what is the time complexity of things. Okay, based on this, we need to figure out the time complexity. Now you understood this, that key element is not at all moving towards the center. It is already towards the side only. Why? Because that itself is a smaller value. Why do you think this will happen? When you have elements which are very much what? Very much in a order, ascending order, descending order, like that.